Okay, good morning to everyone. Welcome back to day 2 of the MoodleMoot India. I hope you all had a great day yesterday with day 1. We will be continuing with a couple more presentations today. So obviously wanted to welcome everybody back. Now we have about 10 minutes before we get started. So if anybody has any questions about day 2 or about Moodle in general, you're very welcome to put it in the chat and I'll certainly do my best to answer it. And if not, I can take those questions back to one of my co-workers and get you the answers offline. So I've also just posted the link to the streaming session. So just like yesterday, all the sessions today will be streamed live on YouTube. So if for whatever reason you are not able to get onto the Big Blue Button session, or if you have any audio challenges, then another alternative would be to view the live stream on YouTube. I also wanted to take this opportunity to make sure everyone is aware that for our last session today, we're going to get Martin back on board, and Martin's going to do a roadmap closing session. This is a session that we find is one of the best sessions during the Moot, because this is where Martin solicits input from the community about some of the features and functionality that you would like to see in a future release of Moodle. And then we gather some of the requests, some of the suggestions, and then we go through a little bit of a voting process to see which ones of these features and functionalities are the most popular. So yeah, if you are able to stay on to the end for that roadmap session, that would be great. So we'll just give everyone and the rest of the participants about 4 minutes to get on the session, and then we will get started with our first presentation on the day. So again, if there are any questions, please feel free to put it on the chat. But once the first presentation of the day gets started, then I would appreciate if we can keep questions for the session strictly to the chat. If you have any other questions, we can take those offline. So you can feel free to put those questions in the lounge room or in the general area. Okay, so a couple more minutes and then we will get started. Thank you.
Hello and good morning now to all of you as well. This is our first MoodleMoot online, and we are doing a lot of new things. So if you got any feedback about how is it running, how we experienced yesterday and you experienced today, we'll be more than happy to receive your feedback. So please don't hesitate to send us an email with whatever suggestions or improvements or good things. Only good things, only good things. You can say to us, we'll be more than happy to receive it.
Diego, if participants want to send questions or feedback about the Moot after the conference is over, what would be the best way for them to do it? Is there a specific email address that they should use, or is there a particular channel that they should send it through?
Yes, I'm going to post to write the email here, and then they can send us an email. And I can see here the question is, oh, look, Anastasia has just posted it. Yes. Any participant certificate? Yes, we're working on that. And we are hopefully next week you will receive a certification directly to your email. We're working on that.
Sorry, I can see a question here. It says, any research group working on Moodle? I don't completely understand the question. If you can give me a little bit more context about that question, I can try to answer it. Just another reminder before we get started that we have Martin's session as the last presentation for today. That will be an interactive session whereby we get feedback from you about some of the features and functionalities that you would like to see in future releases of Moodle. So please stay around if you can. That session is due to start at 12:05 local India time. So again, 12:05 till 12:40 local India time. That's for the final closing session with Martin. All right, with that, I think we can probably get started. So I'd like to welcome everybody back to day 2. And yeah, hope you all have another great day. And I'd like to welcome Faisala to kick off the first session of the day for us. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, good morning to all Moodlers. So, hope you all had a first good MoodleMoot day. Am I audible?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So let's get started. So what we have for the short presentation today is integration of Moodle LMS with proctoring tools to accomplish an integrated assessment platform. Okay, so this is what we have for the short presentation today. So myself, Faiz from 3E, and along with me on this presentation, we have Anmol, Viresh, and Sujay. Okay, so let's give a short introduction about what it is about and what are the key drivers. So let's look into some facts. Okay, so we all know that thousands of online exams are being taken every day. So even as we speak, even during this COVID-19 shutdown time also, so thousands of online exams are being taken. Okay, so for one or the other purpose, okay, for certification or otherwise. Okay, so obviously, whoever are taking the exams or whoever is conducting the online exams, their objective would be do more with less. Okay, so do more online exams with less resources invested, less time, less cost, and less physical resources, whatever they are disposing of. Okay, so that would be the obvious objective for anyone. Okay, so while that objective is being accomplished, okay, so what is the cost at which that it is accomplished? Is it accomplished at the compromise of some other major objective? Okay, so that is the major objective that we are talking about here. Okay, so is this online exam comfort is coming at the comfort of authenticity or integrity of the exam? Okay, yes, you have given a effective assessment platform and exams are being taken very comfortably. Okay, so both sides, the exam taker or as well as the other side, whoever are conducting the exams or the assessments, So they are at the comfort of the technology and they are effectively handling that. But what is the cost of it? Okay, so what is the compromise being made? So at the authenticity. Okay, so whatever certification you are giving, so if your assessment is associated with a certificate, okay, so the certificate would obviously have more value if it comes with an authenticity of the assessment, right? So we all should agree with that, right? So now, what is the cost to ensure that authenticity? Okay. So now, obviously, you have brought in effectiveness doing the online exams, okay, and you have a consistency doing the assessments, everything you have in place. Now you would like to add more authenticity, and what is that cost involved, and what are the factors to be considered? Okay, so this is all where proctoring comes into picture. Okay, so in general, whatever we achieve, okay, say in terms of technology, whatever comfort we bring in terms of technology, okay, so as much as possible we all should get close to the realistic conditions. Okay, so yes, we got this so and so comfort, but we are missing out in this factor. Okay, that should never be the case. That means technology hasn't replaced all your needs completely. Okay, so this is the same case even with the exams, assessments, anything, right? That is the same case. Okay, so you have brought in 50% replacement with the technology. So 50% of the things whatever you are doing, you have got in technology, and you are doing technology has replaced all the manual work or all other traditional process, but you are losing out on the rest of the 50%. That's never a good equation, right? So when you have to speak about the advantage of the technology, you have to replace everything end to end with the technology. So when you have to talk about bringing in the technology to take care of the assessment, you have to take care of the end to end picture of the assessments. Okay, so that is the key driver here. Okay, so now who are our target audience? Who should this solution help? Okay, so the target audience are any authorized training centers or assessment or certification agencies, whoever are doing these jobs of assessment and certifications for one or the other reasons, or typically online universities or any academic institutions. Okay, so for that matter, any institution whoever have the need to take the online assessments with or without e-learning delivery. Sometimes they will only deliver the e-learning content in form of different courses. Sometimes they are not at all related to delivery of the content, but just they are about they do the job about assessing the proficiency of the test taker on various subjects. Okay, so for it could be any purpose. Okay, whatever is the purpose associated with the certification. Okay, so essentially what I mean to say here is it need not necessarily be connected fully with e-learning content delivery. Okay, so you may or you may not be responsible for the e-learning content delivery just because you are responsible for the online assessments. Okay, so these are the target audience for us. Okay, so now the solution or the proposed solution, it may help them in one or the other. Okay, so before we get to the final details, so let's take a look at the definitions. Let's not get into the bookish definition, but let's all try to set some base. What are online assessments? What is proctoring in general? Then what is online proctoring? And of course, what is an LMS? Okay, so yes, let me not try to give the definition of LMS. So let's try to have some understanding of this, okay, so that we are on the same page with respect to what we are going to talk about now. Okay, so now let's take an example of online university. Okay, so in university, it can be full-fledged online university, or it can be a regular university who is doing online programs as well. Okay, so they are delivering the e-learning content. Let's take assume that they have put up some academic programs, and through those programs they are delivering online content. Okay, So then to call these programs as complete, let's say like at the end of this course delivery, they also have assessments. Okay? Assume that they have a very clearly draft assessment put up in place, okay, in terms of evaluating the skills, in terms of evaluating the knowledge, or in terms of evaluating the attitude of the learner, whatsoever it is. Okay, so even they could have thought of psychometric assessments. Okay, so whatever they think is the best approach to have the evaluations done for the learners. They have put everything into picture, and they have a very good platform. Okay, uh, in terms of content delivery as well as in terms of effective assessment. Okay, so let's say they have brought in Moodle for this, and they are successfully able to deliver this. Okay, the content and as well as the assessments. Now let's come back to the subject what we started with at the beginning. Okay, so the authenticity, the integrity of the exams. Okay, now the question is, what is the guarantee that the learner is being highly sincere as she takes the exams? What is the guarantee? Okay, so yes, your assessments are really good. If the assessments are done successfully, the certification is of real value. But who are you awarding the certificate to? You are awarding the certificate to the learner who have actually registered for your program, or you are awarding the certificate to the person who has taken the exam. There is no guarantee. It's one and the same. So technically, so it is may or may not be the case, but technically there is no guarantee. So in some cases it's possible. On the other side, the assessments are being taken as a teamwork. It is quite possible, right? Okay. So there is some teamwork being done, and they are completing the assessment, and the university would be ending up giving the certification to one person, whoever has registered. Okay, so this is the precise limitation that we are going to address. Okay? So now, how do we extend the capability of Moodle to bring in the exam integrity? Okay, so whatever is otherwise an assumed exam integrity, how do we bring in the trusted exam integrity? Okay, so this is the capability that we are trying to fix. Okay, so we have to accept the one fact that we are not living in a plain world. Okay, so if it's all plain world, obviously there is no room for innovation of technology. There is no room for many other things to happen, and you can even imagine there are many jobs being lost if it is a plain world. Okay, so the different gaps or different thought process, and the people being different with their approaches, with their attitudes. So these are all the things which lead to innovation of technologies. Okay, in a way, those innovations create more jobs. Those necessities create more jobs. Okay, so at a broader sense, we can link all of that to this subject as well. Okay, so now we talked about bringing in the trusted exam integrity, and we talked about integration of the Moodle LMS with online proctoring tool. Okay, so proctoring tool is meant for delivering the trusted exam integrity. Okay, so again, proctoring can vary in its operations, in its capabilities. Okay, so proctoring can vary from face recognition to live proctoring and fully automated live proctoring. Okay, so now you may have the choice of going with a third party proctoring tool, a cloud based proctoring tool, or if you have the bandwidth. Okay, so we have the choice of bringing in your own proctoring tool. You can build in-house proctoring tool. Okay, so whatever is the proctoring tool, you have the proctoring tool on one side, which is fully reliable, or at least which takes care of your requirements. Okay, so it's necessary and sufficient for you. Okay, whatever are the necessary and sufficient requirements for you, it takes care of those requirements. Now, on the other hand, you have an LMS which is doing its job really, really well. The Moodle LMS which you have brought in, it's doing its job really really well in terms of content delivery and uh, handling the assessments. Now, the only gap that you want to bridge here is, if you want to handle these two things separately, you require the learners to leave the LMS environment and get to the proctoring tool, finish their assessments, and then get the certification. Okay. So again, probably they may need to come back to the LMS and to continue from where they have left off. Okay. So this is the uh, precise limitation. Okay. So we are talking about bridging that limitation and what are the technologies, tools, and the standards. Okay. So now we have the proctoring tool, which is working more like a LTI provider. Okay. And on the other side, you have the Moodle, which can work. Moodle is already capable of working as LTI consumer. Okay, of course, Moodle can work as LTI provider as well. But for this requirement, Moodle's capability as LTI consumer is what matters. Okay. So before that, I just forgot to mention one point here. Okay, what is an LTI first? Okay, so LTI is the global standard. Okay, so which is maintained by IMS. Okay, so basically, it talks about the interoperability between different learning tools. Okay? So maybe you can have an assessment tool, or you can have different virtual classroom tool. Okay? So you can have a learning management system. So LTA is the standard which connects all these learning tools seamlessly. Okay, so that is what LTA is about in brief. Okay, so without leaving one environment, you can launch another proctoring tool from your environment. Okay, so and all single sign-on, everything is taken care of. The way it works is you have to provide the launch URL on the consumer side, or launch URL of the provider, as well as the key and the secret. So then your learning tool are set to work fully seamlessly with one another. Okay, so that is in brief how it works. And for those who don't know much about LTI, probably they can visit LTI specifications on IMS Global site. Okay, so as of now, I think LTI version 1.3 is the latest standard. Okay, and if your proctoring tool already supports LTI standard, what you need to do is you need to see whether it has provided or it comes with a plugin to be integrated with Moodle. Otherwise, you have to think of ways to integrate that with Moodle and provide your write up your own plugin. So, or if it is about in-house proctoring tool that you are developing, you have to follow the similar practice. Okay? So basically, using this LTI standard, you can bring in most of the both worlds. So without requiring the learner, or even for that matter, the other stakeholders, without requiring them to leave LMS environment, you can accomplish an integrated platform to deliver e-learning assessments at the same time assuring the authenticity. Okay, so integrity of the assessments or certification. So this is how it all works. Okay, so bringing in best of both worlds and using the standard tools and technologies, we can think of creating an integrated platform to take care of the end-to-end requirements and to move towards 100% replacement of the things that we have been doing in a traditional world, the 100% replacement of them with the technology. Okay, so it is just moving towards 100%. We still can't say it is 100%. So again, it's all the evolution game. Okay, so as we bring in more and more things, there will be more and more limitations still identified, and as we try to bring in different solutions, so we can go towards the accomplishments. Okay, so from nowhere, now this is a world where we kind of have a choice of going with the online learning. So learning has become online mostly. So today it's a choice. Probably tomorrow we don't know. Okay, so maybe with the situations. Okay, so now we have this COVID-19 situation, which is forcing the learning to happen more on online. Okay, so probably the percentage of online learners it's increasing. Okay, so probably if some situations like that repeat, okay, so we never know, right, down the line. Okay, so we never have the predictions. Okay, so probably online learning is no more a choice, but it's a compulsion. So learning has to be done only online. Okay. So it's something that can be assumed at least at this point of time. We never know. Okay. So it may or may not be the case. So when that happens, obviously, all the assessments have to be mandatory. All the assessments have to be mandatorily done online. At the same time, the proctoring, online proctoring, will become more of a necessity than a comfort as well. Okay. So as we evolve, our needs will also evolve. So some of the needs will add to the comfort. Some of these needs will not be a matter of comfort, but it's more like a compulsion. Okay, it's something that we ought to do. Okay, so there is no other option. Okay, so this is what about the extending the capabilities of e-learning all the way to the um, completely completely uh, authenticated proctoring done. Okay, so yeah, so that is the brief introduction about the proctoring. Okay, so now, so before we end up the presentation, let's talk about who are the beneficiaries. So any solution that we talk about, definitely we have to think of who are the stakeholders, how the solution is going to benefit them. So obviously here the stakeholders are the learners, and the other side, the online university or any such bodies who are taking the exams or who are taking the certifications. Okay. So what's in it for me? What is in it for me for the learner, and what is in it for me for an online university? Let's just assume it is being conducted, it is being used by an online university. Okay. So obviously location constraints. Okay. So the learner can take the assessments at the comfort of uh, his home. Okay. So he doesn't need to move to any other exam center or anything. Okay. So then, obviously there are no logistic constraints. Okay? So because he doesn't need to move to any go to any exam center to appear for the online exam. Obviously, there are no logistic constraints. At the same time, even for the university, they don't need to worry about arranging for the transportation of proctors. Okay? So then again, depending on the way the proctoring is done, so maybe the proctoring can be done online. Okay, so the live feed is being taken and the proctor is sitting on the other side. Then he will be viewing the live feed and doing the proctoring notes, etc. So depending on how the proctoring is scheduled for, probably a proctor can do the proctoring for maybe 12 to 16 candidates at once. Okay, or he can do it for one or two candidates at once. Okay, so it depends on how it has been scheduled. Okay. So then again, depending on the kind and type of the proctoring. So let's say like even without a need for a proctor, okay, so human proctor, it can be completely replaced by automated live proctoring. Okay, automated live proctoring in the sense it can be done as record and review proctoring, or it can be done as completely automated in real time. Okay, so I mean it depends on the capabilities that you have on the proctoring tool that you are using. Okay. So then depending on the way that you use, depending on the capabilities of the proctoring tool, depending on the method that you adapt to, so you may or may not have one or more of these constraints. Okay? So you may get a full or part control of on these constraints. Okay? So logistics, location, and schedule. Okay?
Hello, Azula. You've got
Okay,
2 minutes left. Are you finished with the presentation? Do you want to answer any questions?
Yep, I think I'm almost done. Just one note
Okay.
that I would like to add is,
2 minutes.
yeah,
2 minutes.
just
Okay. Thank you.
yep. Okay. So yesterday, I think Martin was talking about Moodle Workplace, and so there in Moodle 3.9, I think Safe Exam Browser is also planned to be rolled out. Okay. So Safe Exam Browser definitely it adds definitely it adds a considerable value to in this exam integrity. Okay, so then let's say like in future versions, if Moodle LMS is made to work with this proctoring capability, then definitely it will be a lot of value to the Moodle ecosystem. So I think I'm done. Any questions?
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much for your contribution. That was a great presentation. We will have to close this session and move on to the next one. And similar to yesterday, to join the next session, you will need to exit this one and start a new session for the next presentation. All right. Thank you again and see you all at the next session.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I think we can get started now. I think most of us are here, so please take it away. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome to API-driven development in Moodle. My name is Dhaval Bargate and I work with the advisor team. Hello, Moodlers. I hope you guys are doing well. Do you know how some people have difficult times working in the Moodle environment? We at Advisor are focused on solving this problem. We are the creators of one of the most popular themes in Advisor in the Moodle ecosystem, that is Advisor MUI. We have more than 5,000 happy customers, and we get a lot of love from the Moodle community for developing this theme. At Advisor, we have always been committed to open source development, and our primary mission has been to improve the user interface and the user experience of all open source applications we deal with. With the same mission in mind, we created Advisor MUI, which has transformed the Moodle experience from this to this. Basically, the theme enhances the user experience and at the same time provides faster interactions and ease of access. Our goal has always been to make Moodle more contemporary, and we soon realized that this theme is just a part of it. We could apply the same principles in different sections in Moodle, and while researching further, we came across grading. Grading in Moodle is cumbersome and time consuming. A teacher needs to go through at least 3 screens to grade one question of one user. We identified this as a major problem and we started looking on building solutions for this. We discussed this with our internal design and development team and came up with this design as a solution. As you see in this design, you can see all the questions of all the users in one screen. Also, the actual interface for grading and commenting on a particular question slides out from the bottom. This particular design can definitely act as a solution. And while moving towards implementation, we encountered with a few hiccups. Our first approach was obviously to override the current grading interface. But we soon realized that this is not the way to go, as it required multiple core level changes, which eventually would lead to multiple dependencies. We realized that our primary hurdle was the current interface. And if we could somehow bypass this interface, to capture and store the required data, then our jobs would be much easier. We could simply build a new interface and render it independently of the current grading interface while directly talking to the database. But this was only possible using API. I've been talking about for this API for some time now, and before I move ahead, I would like to shed some light on what it is. To give you an example, Google Maps and Uber. As you all know, Uber is a ride-hailing platform and requires Google Maps as a primary functionality. What happens when you book a ride is Uber sends out information such as your start and end location and the time of the ride. And Google Maps responds back with the distance between the two locations, the traffic, the average traffic during that time. And with this information and some parameters like number of rides present in that area, Uber comes up with a fare for you. Of course, Uber has been paying in millions to Google for using this service. But had they been thinking of developing this on their end, their investment would have been in billions for sure, and the time required would have cost them this business. So now that you have a fair understanding of this API, let me tell you how, let me shed a little bit more light on when this API development is needed. One of the approach is when we are connecting to disparate systems like Uber and Google. And the second is when overriding an existing functionality in a particular software being on the same platform does not give you the required access. We had to basically use Moodle API. So we use this in our grading software, and with the help of the amazing Moodle API and some endpoints that we build on our end, we created Advisor Rapid Grader, which is an amazing solution for grading and which cuts down the time into half. To understand a little bit more about how we did it on the technical end, let me invite Bharat Parikh, who is a research guru and a tech lead on the advisor product side. Bharat, over to you.
Just a minute. Thank you, Dhaval. Hey friends, my name is Bharat Parikh. I'm working with Advisor for last 5 years, and together we have created some awesome solutions like Advisor MUI, Advisor Rapid Grader, and Advisor course formats, which has around 1500 active users on the Moodle community. So first of all, I'm very thankful to a Moodle community who have created such an awesome software which is feature rich as well as truly extendable. Now let's talk about our solution, how we use APIs in our base solution. But for that, we need to know what is an API. So an API is nothing but interface which is used to connect two systems. So if we take an example of a food delivery app, you open the app, you select the menu items from the menu, and then you just click the order button. So what is happening here? Your mobile app works as a client which sends the request to the server. In this case, the request will be your food items, and the server will be restaurant. And in turn, server just takes the request and sends a message to you that the order is placed successfully. So that's how an API is used to connect two systems, facilitate the functionality between them. So in the current grading interface, there were some challenges. We could not modify the current page in any way. We could not modify the HTML output like any other pages in Moodle. So that's where we turned to the Moodle APIs, and it was a really great decision for us. So using Moodle API and the JavaScript solutions, we have created this interface which provides easy access to the students being graded, easy access to navigate between the questions without changing the tabs or pages in the system itself. But how did we develop it? So for that, we need to know how Moodle API works. So moving on to the next slide. So API development in Moodle is consisting of three parts. First is external service description. Think it of like a file where we need to register all our APIs. The second part is external functions. In external functions, we create our API endpoints, all the endpoints which are needed in the plugin or your API gateway. And the third part is actual API call, where you call the API endpoint and you will get the response, just like the food delivery app, where you are just ordering the food and getting a response that your order is successful. If you want to know more about it, then there are some documentation link on Moodle, which is in the bottom left corner. You can have a look at them. So let's talk about the first part in detail. All the API endpoints are registered in the DB folder of services.php file in a Moodle plugin. So you will have to create a DB folder and then create a services.php file in Moodle, using which you can register all your endpoints. So here you can see that we have created and registered a function named get quiz questions. So this function is used to get all the questions for a quiz. This was the first part. Now we will have to define actual endpoints for the system. External functions. So to create API endpoints in Moodle, we will have to create external functions. External functions are stored in external lib.php file, this in a Moodle plugin. And all these functions can be accessed by API clients like your mobile app or the web services API of Moodle. So using this, we can we can create a different interface and use Moodle's APIs to populate data there. Now this the external functions part is divided in three parts. First is we have to define three functions. First is a returns function, where we define which parameters we have to give to the API endpoint. So suppose you have to get questions of a quiz. Then obviously you will need a quiz ID or the attempt ID for that. So here in this function, we have to define all those parameters like we are defining here. We are defining number, the question number, and the question status. The second part is where all the business logic resides. So in the second part, the second function, we write all the code. We write all the code for getting the, suppose in the case of quizzes, we will write a code for getting all the questions for the quizzes. Suppose we are writing an endpoint for logging in users. Then in that function, we will write code for the actual login. And the third part here is the response function. In the response function, we have to define the structure of a function. In case of get quiz question function, we are returning the number of questions, the question title, and the question ID. So our response function should give all the structure of those, because if the response function differs from the structure function, then there will be a fatal error in Moodle. So we have to define all those properly. Now using all the external function and the external service description we discussed in the previous slide, we will get a single URL. So this is an API endpoint. So API endpoint is nothing but a URL, as you can see. You can open this URL in your browser and you will get all the results. So in our case, we will get all the questions for a quiz. But now suppose this is a URL and someone shared it with every person. I mean, person who you do not want to intend the data to be shared. In this case, if they open this URL, they will get all the data of your quiz. So how to limit that? How to limit who will have access to the data? For this, we have a parameter security token in Moodle. Using this, we can limit the access to the API. So only the persons who has access to the security tokens will have access to the API endpoints data. But that is not all. You have to take care of some precautions while creating an endpoint. You have to monitor some system resources. So these are some points I want to discuss about. First is security. Every API endpoint you create should be secure enough and should not have access to the malicious users. So for that, we can have usernames, passwords for securing the API. For example, we can take an example of WhatsApp for now. WhatsApp is a API client which connects to the WhatsApp servers for transmitting your messages and receiving the messages from other users. So suppose there is no security and security aspect there. The malicious users will be able to access the messages you are sending and you are receiving easily. So for that, security is actually necessary for every API endpoint you are creating. The second part is system monitoring. So this is again a main part while creating an API gateway. Again, let's take an example of WhatsApp. You send a message to the message to anyone, and instantly the message is sent to the recipient. What if you're sending the message and it is taking like 5 to 10 minutes for sending a single message? Then this will obviously disrupt your disrupt the facility. I mean, what we say, disrupt the flow. So for this, we need to monitor our system if there are some system resources being not used properly, or CPU usage is high, or there is system load on the server. So in all these cases, we need to monitor our system and make a pattern of all the system loads. So in future, we can manage our system and it works in its full efficiency. So this is from my part. If you have some questions, then you can obviously connect to me on my email ID for clarification. So Dhawal, over to you.
Yeah, can you go to the next slide, please?
Yes, sure. You will have to manage that. Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you everyone for listening to us very patiently. We have a small quiz for you. I'm going to paste that URL over here so that it helps you to understand. It's a small quiz so that you can take and understand what we have explained a little bit better. And when you give this quiz, you stand a chance to win some amazing advisor products. That's it from our end, guys. We are open to any questions that you have.
Yeah, thank you very much for your brilliant presentation. We have 5 minutes still, so please send your questions here in the chat so guys can reply that.
Someone in the chat before was asking about what an API stands for. So API basically stands for Application Programming Interface. It is basically one single interface, or it stands like a bridge to connect two different softwares, right? So as you know, Uber and Google Maps both are independently developed and they do not have anything in common. But when they want to interact with each other, both have okay, and that's how they communicate. So this API is basically a bridge between two different software.
So Rajnish is asking if you are using React for front end, but no, actually we have used plain JavaScript for this and use Moodle's templating engine for all the interface design for now. But yeah, this can be converted to a React interface or Angular for that matter. So Dhawal,
Bharat,
is
would
there?
you like to take this?
Yeah. So Murlidhar is asking how Moodle is different from its counterparts as far as system security and reliability issue. So Murlidhar, I'm working with Moodle for like a long time now. So there are security measures in place for everything. Like suppose a user being logged in, cross-site scripting attacks, and form validations. So for every each of those things, there are security measures at place, as well as Moodle provides an API for connecting to the database also. So it is a best practice to not write the code for connecting the database. You should always use the APIs provided by Moodle for even connecting to database, for connecting to APIs and etc. So this way, you have advantage of layer of security provided by Moodle. And again, there is a security overview page in Moodle where you can see all the precautions you should take in for your specific server.
hello. Anybody's got any questions for after this session? I can see that in the chat there is a question. Have you answered this one?
Just a minute, Muralidhar. I will just share the link of quiz with you.
Yeah, I done that. But
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I was double checking different things. Well, thank you. We can. Do you want to add anything to your presentation? If not, if you're happy, we can close the session now, and then we will have 10 minutes before we start a next session in another room. So remember, if you want to join, you need to leave this room and join the room in the next session. Thank you very much to you too. It was great. I hope that everybody enjoyed it, and see you in the next room.
thank you so much, Diego.
Good morning again. Hello, everybody. We're going to start the next session with ballistic learning, one of our partners in India. So, Halabi, whenever you want, you've got the control of the presentations, and please, when you feel comfortable, start. Thank you.
I think we're happy to begin. Thank you, Diego. Lokesh, if you're around, we can begin.
Sure, Pallavi.
Super. Super. Then we begin. Thank you, Diego. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Ballistic Learning presentation of what Moodle can do for various types of organizations and institutions. I'm Pallavi Bajaj. I'm a director with Ballistic Learning, and I'd like to begin by apologizing for our technical issues yesterday and thanking all of you for your enthusiasm and patience and for coming back today. We at Ballistic Learning are Moodle partners based out of India. We have a global clientele, and over the last 15 years of working with open source technology and in particular partnering with Moodle and over 350 different projects, we have had the amazing opportunity to understand and explore the many features, offerings, and benefits of Moodle. And that's what we're here to share with you today. Over the years, we have worked with requests and requirements raised by clients, some of who were already very open source LMS savvy and others very accepting of our suggestions and consultation, and others who just wanted to migrate from existing proprietary LMS platforms to Moodle. In the process, we have worked with all the features, the scalability, the robustness, etc. offered by Moodle, and used the fact that Moodle allows for it to build various interesting and useful features on top of Moodle. Also integrating it with other open source platforms and applications and working with a very active Moodle community to maximize its benefits. Some of the more interesting work we have done on Moodle and the ones we will be discussing today in more detail has included the creation, for example, of a virtual library and database to make learning through reading more interesting and interactive, analytics and assessment lifecycle and the user gamification for learning in the banking sector, virtual course delivery, scheduling and management for India's premium medical institution, complete ERP integration and student management for university platforms, using bots to enhance the learning experience, and the Drupal Moodle model of integration for corporate lifecycle learning. All this work has been very interesting for us, and it has allowed us to work through and innovate with what we're about to share with you today, which is what can Moodle do for you? So without much ado, I'm now going to hand over to Lokesh Nair, who leads client engagement at Ballistic Learning and deals with these challenges every day, to walk you through the details of what Moodle did and allowed us to do for these projects. So Lokesh, the virtual floor is all yours. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. Hello, everyone. Taking this presentation forward, we'll go by one for the different clients' wish list. Okay. Pallavi, I'm taking the presenter rights.
Yes, please.
So the first client wish list is virtual library and database. The problem statement. The client had developed an online virtual library with hundreds of graded readers and quizzes. The platform had more than 6,000 books. The client had developed this website on a Cake PHP framework, which already has its own limitation. The client wanted to develop additional functionalities on the existing feature, but the way the platform was architectured, it was not possible. Client was also facing a lot of issues in terms of scalability. Client came to us to help them develop the existing features on a more robust, modular, and a scalable framework like Moodle. Migrate all the content and users records from the older framework to the newer framework. Features of Moodle that we used. We proposed to use Moodle inbuilt quiz engine. For each individual book, we proposed to use course engine framework. In-house BL work to add value. We migrated the existing records and users from the existing framework to Moodle framework. Since client had different publishers, we developed a multi-tenant framework where every publisher is one tenant. In order to track users' reading speed and level, we developed a reader on top of Moodle. The reader would track number of words read per page and the time taken by the users to complete one book. We also developed features like currency management, department management, access card management, subscription management, to name a few. We also developed a feature of audio on demand. We are also working on helping client in developing a progressive web app using the existing Moodle mobile app framework. Some of the features was access card management, including verification, validation of access card, subscription management, institution and program management, tracking users reading level, currency management, audio and demand. Some of the screenshots of the platform were, you had, this is an admin screenshot. You had classes, you had assessments, you had institution, you had program department, you had library, you have instructors, you have institution admins, you had currency management, you had managed subscription, you had managed access card. This is how the courses used to look like. So every book was one single course. These are the courses images. Gamification for learning in the banking sector. The problem statement, client was already using the standard out-of-box Moodle for training of its internal employees from last 3 years. The platform had close to 10,000 users. The existing platform had the basic user experience. Since client had close to 10,000 users, the main challenge was report generation, which was very tedious as the admin had to go to each individual course to check users completion record and status. The feedback from employees was also that the platform was not engaging and motivating for them. Client was planning to switch to a different LMS before he came to us. The platform was also being hosted on on-premise server, which had its own challenges and limitation. Features of Moodle. After analyzing the client's requirement, we proposed to upgrade the platform to the newer version of Moodle. In order to improve user experience, we developed a new theme using the client's branding guidelines. We also developed a custom dashboard for the employers to aware them on what has to be done using Moodle calendar feature. Since bank had different sets of courses for different roles and position, we used Moodle cohort feature to group users depending upon their position and job role, and used Moodle cohort enrollment feature. In-house BL work to add value. We developed a reporting engine tool at the site level so that admins could generate all reports through one single click. In order to motivate users and make learning more engaging, we developed a point system engine where for every action a user does or completion of course or activity, we were giving them points. After adding gamification element in the platform, the absorption rate of using the platform shoot up by 70%. We also developed a personalized mobile app for the client using OTP functionality for login and forget password. This was also added on top of the existing Moodle app framework. We moved everything to AWS cloud servers. Currently, client had close to 15,000 users. Some more key features of the platform were Active Directory integration, learning hours and learning points, different types of courses, which could be role-based courses, mandatory courses. Some of the key screenshots of the platform were give it a second, it's taking time to get load. So this is a screenshot of the point system engine. For every course, we were assigning a point depending upon the completion and progress. This is how a user would see his dashboard. You had mandatory courses, you had role-based learning courses, and for the every status, the completion that a user has done, this used to get ticked. Moodle course delivery and management for medical institute. This implementation was for the most premium medical institute of India for graduate and postgraduate courses. This is the first time they have used Moodle for a holistic end-to-end learning experience. Problem statement, client wanted to develop a learning management system which could be used within the institute. The platform should also be able to track users' journey and reports other than the standard Moodle reporting like grades, completion, record, activity completion. Client wanted to use one platform which would help them resolve both needs, the learning needs, as well as users' journey throughout the academic year. We were very lucky to work with this medical institute, which is deeply rooted in India and is so active in using newer technologies. Since they were using Moodle and open source technology for the very first time, they had adoption challenges. We had a very engaging discussion with them in terms of consulting them with the merits of an open source solution and the various features and functionality that could be developed and deployed on Moodle. We were very fortunate that they accepted our solution and suggestion, and together we built a very useful platform for them. We also had to understand their existing ERP workflows so that the same could be developed on top of Moodle. They use Moodle as a learning management system, and flipped learning has also been introduced as an effective instructional method to promote learner-centered in classrooms. Features of Moodle that we used Moodle Course Engine framework to create courses, used Moodle assessment to track users' learning. We developed a personalized user experience as per the client's branding guidelines. We also developed a custom course format depending upon the teaching pedagogy. In-house BL work to add value. Since other than the learning needs, we also had to create administrative workflows for admins, teachers, HOD, such as HRA feature, LTC management, conference and workshop management. We created each and individual feature as a separate plugin, and then we integrated all of them on top of Moodle. We did this as pro bono as a contribution to the nation's building. Some of the key features was general application approval, disapproval, leave management approval and disapproval, HRA management process, LTC management process, conference and workshop management. Some of the key features, this is a dashboard a user sees. This is his learning area. This is the general application plugin, leave management, thesis management, conference and workshop management, book allowance management, HRA management, EHS management, LTC management. This is a standard general application request plugin. In this, a user used to apply for a new application, and the same used to get forwarded to the head of department or the academic section. User can see his entire application request history right from his submission to the status of where the current application is pending. Complete ERP integration and student management. The problem statement: client had different schools and universities across India. The challenge that the client was facing was that for every university and school had its own different learning needs and different administrative workflow. Every school and university was using different proprietary tool to manage its administrative needs, such as attendance management, payment gateway, etc. And collating records from different schools and universities was a challenge for them. So the client wanted to have one platform which could be used across all schools and universities, and the same platform should have administrative workflows for academic teams. We suggested client to use Moodle as one solution for its end-to-end learning and administrative needs. We had an extensive requirement session with client to understand the workflows being used across schools and universities. Features of Moodle: we use Moodle Course Engine framework to create courses. We use Moodle assessments to track users' learning. We developed a personalized user experience as per the client's branding guidelines. We also developed a custom course format depending upon the teaching pedagogy. In-house BL work to add value. For administrative needs, we created separate plugins such as biometric integration, access card management, refund management, fee management modules on top of Moodle. All these were created as separate plugins. All of them were integrated with Moodle to provide a seamless end-to-end solution. Some of the key screenshots of the platform were: this is how an admin sees the platform. It has bill management, attendance management, biometric records. Some of the ERP functionalities: absenteeism management, course approval management, fee head management, fee receipt management, payment gateway, prepayment plan, program management, refund management, scholarship management, venue management. This is how an admin can see the different programs across different schools and universities. Learning through bots. The problem statement. Client wanted to set up a platform for recruitment of new joiners. For onboarding, they used to take assessments on a proprietary platform to check users' analytic skills. Client was also using a chatbot, which was again a third-party proprietary platform. Since client was recruiting close to 10,000 users per month, they were looking for a solution which is scalable, modular, open source, and that could be adopted globally throughout the organization. We suggested client to use Moodle. We had an extensive requirement session with client to understand the workflow of chatbots so that the same could be replicated on top of Moodle. Features of Moodle. We use Moodle assessments to track users' learning. We developed personalized user experience as per the client branding guidelines. We also integrated the platform with the client HRMS system. In-house BL work to add value. We created a custom chat activity on top of Moodle and used Moodle quizzes as a backend to track users' progress. We were also tracking users' speed, engagement with bots. We were tracking users' average response time, chat simulation time, wait time. With our proposed cost-effective open source solution, client has been using Moodle from last 3 years and has been recruiting close to 2 million users per year. Some of the screenshots. This is how the chatbot looks like. You have different stages: greet, verify, understand, research, present, resolve, and notate. This is how the quizzes used to pop up during the chatbots. Drupal Moodle integration model. The client was facing was delivering courses to lot of users face to face. The client training materials was also being shared to users as hand notes and PDF files. Client came to us to set up a platform which could help them to sell courses online. Client also wanted to have high level of integration with different platforms. Since client wanted to have content on cloud, security of content was also a challenge for them. For content management functionalities, we suggested client to use Drupal, an open source content management system. For learning delivery, we use client Moodle. So it was a SSO between Drupal and Moodle. We suggested client to use Moodle and Drupal because of its flexibility, because of its scalability, and also because of it is backed by a very big developers community, and it can easily adapt to new changes and functionality as and when required. Features of Moodle. We use Moodle course engine framework to deliver courses, content, assessment using forums, activities, com packages, lesson. In-house BL work to add value. We used Drupal as a front end and created individual plugins such as reporting engine, discount coupon management, catalog management, to name a few. All of these were integrated with both Drupal and Moodle to ensure seamless transition from one platform to another platform. Other than Drupal and Moodle integration, it also had Salesforce integration. Protected PDF APIs was also integrated for security purpose. For videos, they were uploaded on media servers of Azure Cloud. Some more features were catalog management, ILT management, course scheduling management. Some of the screenshots of the platform were, these are ILT courses. You had payment gateway integration. This is how the course overview looks like. Some more screenshots. This is a video-based course format. This is again a custom course format. This is we are tracking users' learning journey throughout the course. We are tracking users' input provided, academic compliance, and yes, performance. We are tracking it with different legends. Green means completed, red means non-compliant, and orange means proficient. This is one more course format and a dashboard for one of the client based out of Vietnam. Thank you everyone for your patience. Happy to answer questions if any.
Thank you everyone for your time. Once again, we're happy to take any questions. Now or later, you can get in touch with us later as well. Yes, Fiona is just informing me we have about 5 minutes left for questions. So now would be a good time. Do we have an office in Mumbai? We don't have a physical office in Mumbai, but we do service clients there, Anjali. So please get in touch with us and we'll be happy to help. Vinod says we need more information about chatbots. Vinod, what exact specific information are you looking for? And Lokesh, can you step in and maybe answer any questions Vinod has? Thank you, Hani, for the compliment. Thank you for your time. Have you guys developed any e-proctoring tool for online assessment? Yes, Lokesh, you were answering that.
Sandeep, we could definitely help you in developing this e-proctoring tool. You can drop us an email and then we can take it forward from there. Umesh, ERP development done separately. So they were created as plugins on top of Moodle and all of them are integrated on Moodle and Drupal.
Vinod wants to know if chatbot using Moodle quizzes can be done and how.
Yes, yes, we know that can be done. We can take it offline. You can drop us an email.
Thank you, Ibrahim Ji and everyone for all your wonderful, kind words. Vinod says they're conducting weekly quizzes. Yes, Vinod, we can definitely help you with that. And like Lokesh said, you can drop us an email and we will leave our email ID at the end of this presentation and you can get in touch with us.
Yes, Mukesh.
Yeah, go ahead, Lokesh.
Yes, Mukesh, chatbots with SAP can work also. Let's take it offline. You can drop us an email.
Kanishka has a question on how many of these features can be incorporated in a Raspberry Pi for a crowd of about 40 learners.
Kanishka, we will just drop us an email. We can take it offline. Okay, we need to figure out your requirements first.
Kanishka, just to answer that question a bit more, Moodle can work with a lot of different elements, a lot of different features, a lot of different other platforms. So we will need a little bit more information on your exact requirements, but we'll be very happy to help. And once again, we'll be dropping our email ID at the end of this. Thank you, Ibrahim. We're also looking forward to working with you. Ah, Martin is here. Thank you, Martin, for answering that. Everyone, shout out for Martin, please. Features which you have implemented upgradable.
Yes, Harshal, they're upgradable.
Everything in Moodle is upgradable. Can we integrate chatbot not only for quiz, but also for other services in Moodle?
Yes, Vinogopal, we can do that.
Do you have a mobile app for MT?
Sandeep, what is MT? But we do have developed customized mobile app for different clients.
Do plugins also available on version 3.9?
Mukesh sir 3.9 has Mukesh sir 3.9 has still not been launched. It will be coming in month of June.
Okay, so maybe
Thank
last
you, Harsh.
2 questions and then we will wrap up.
All right, Fiona is pulling the plug on the session. Last few questions. We're already over time.
Yes, Sandeep, that can be done if you're talking about multi-tenancy.
Perfect. All right, Fiona, is that all we have time for? I see one more time coming in
Yes,
from
thank you very
Anjali.
much. Oh,
Thank you, Anjali.
okay, well, thanks again to the team at Ballistic. Thanks, Pallavi and Lokesh. That was a very robust presentation. And yeah, we really look forward to hearing. Yeah.
Thank
All
you,
right.
all
Thanks.
of you at
and we'll
Moodle
see
HQ. Thank you,
everybody.
Martin, for stepping in. Thank you, Diego, for helping with the administrative issues, and Emilio. Thanks, Fiona. Thanks, Lokesh.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Session.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to give you an update that we're just waiting on the presenter who's having some technical issues. So we hope to resolve this as soon as possible. So thank you very much for your patience. Hope to be with you shortly. Thank you. I think while we are waiting, if anybody has any questions for either Moodle HQ or even between yourselves, if you want to exchange some information about things that you are doing at your institution, or questions for one another within the community, I think this might be actually a good time to do so. So we can give a few minutes if people want to exchange some questions and answers. So there is a question here by Mish. Moodle Workplace can be used freely. Well, yes, Moodle Workplace is of course available to anyone in terms of whether you're an educational institution or whether you're a corporate organization. However, with Moodle Workplace, it is currently only available through Moodle partners. So if you are interested in exploring Moodle Workplace, please contact us or contact our partners, and we can put you in touch with someone who can show you Moodle Workplace. I see another question. How do you understand technology enabled? Is that a question for the community, or is that tech enabled versus pedagogy enabled? Sorry, is that a question for us, or is that one that you're asking the community? In the meantime, there's another question. What is the minimum system requirement to deploy Moodle server? I'm sorry, I don't have the answer to that question, but I can get you a link and I can send it to you offline. Umesh, you say here, since Moodle is used widely into education, why there is no timetable? Sorry, I don't really understand your question. Do you mean like, could you please give some context around your question? Oh, right, like a time, yeah. Well, I think this is a good opportunity for you to raise that question in the next session, where we will be getting input about some of the features and some of the functionality that you want. So with timetabling, if that's something that you feel quite strongly about, I think in the next session, you can certainly give us some input there. There's a broader question from one of our participants. Dear Moodlers, how many of you tried learning plans and outcomes in Moodle? In future, if we want to be in touch, how to contact? Do you have a WhatsApp group? Yes, actually, there is a WhatsApp group for the Indian community. I'm trying to see if I can grab the link here. Just bear with me.
Menashi? Can you hear us? Hello? We can't hear you. Try to disconnect your headphones. No, we still can't hear you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for your patience. I'm just going to check with Diego, but I think it is quite likely that we will not be able to proceed with the session. Obviously, the presenter is having some technology issues, so and we're going to run out of time. So if you can just hang tight for a couple more minutes and we will provide you with an update. Sorry about that. We'll be back soon. Okay, everybody, it's Fiona here again. I'm really sorry, but it looks like we will have to cancel this session because we are not able to get the presenter on successfully. So, yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we are going to come back for the closing session with Martin. So, yeah, if you guys want to get some coffee, drink, tea, chai, and then we will come back for a very, very interactive session with Martin. So the next session will start at 12:05 local Indian time. Yep, so come armed with your comments, suggestions, and it will be a great closing session with Martin. Okay, so we will see you soon, 12:05. Thanks very much. Yes, I just saw a quick comment. Yes, maybe we will get the presenter to record a session, and then we can make that link available to everybody after the Moot. We'll definitely suggest that to her. All right, thanks again. See you soon.
All right. Hello, everyone. I think I'm pretty ready and set up here. So, well, it's been an interesting last couple of days, and thanks for everyone for being part of it. It's not the first. Sorry, it is the first time we've tried doing the Moot this way. I think we've all learned a lot. And we'll be looking for some feedback. But I think we already have a list of things we want to improve for next time. And maybe you also have learned something when you're running your own sessions online as well, and what things work and what things don't. So, like I said yesterday, good learning opportunity for everybody here. And there's been some really great presentations that I've been sitting in on. So thanks everyone who's been presenting. Last one now, I want to talk about the Moodle roadmap. And we have a page about that. If you look at, well, anytime you like, this page here on our Moodle docs, this was updated in March. And something we'll be doing now for every quarter, so every 3 months, is updating this page with the latest information about what our roadmap is, so that you can have that advanced information. We have a process for collecting that information. It comes from our Moodle tracker. It comes from the Moodle Users Association. It comes from forums. It comes from plugins that are successful. And one of the ways is sessions like this, which is a roadmap. We call it a roadmap session or a brainstorm session at our MoodleMoots. So the big picture, the general things that are happening in the roadmap is that there is a big focus on user experience. And I've got flow here as well. And what I mean by that is the workflow of a teacher or a student or an admin to do, daily jobs. If you have something you do often, then that thing should be as easy as possible so that you save a lot of time. And that the path that you take through pages, clicking buttons, it can matter a lot to an individual if that's something that they're doing a lot. So we want to really work on a lot of small issues that we know about, as well as looking at the whole system and how should things work? How should you be teaching online? A second big direction we're doing is to work more closely with the developers. And so there's focusing on more interaction with our community and our developers, helping developers write better code, improving the quality of plugins and the range of plugins. And like I mentioned yesterday, one of them is this new Moodle plugin service for next year, which will kind of make plugins more like an app store and make them a lot easier to choose, and also support developers so that they can do a better job too. A third direction is about integrations between Moodle products. So we are working on how things integrate between Moodle app and Moodle core, between MoodleNet and Moodle, between Moodle Cloud and Moodle, and so on and so on. And we want them all to be very seamless and feel like one platform. And lastly, more integrations with the world. So it's very rare that you just use Moodle. You usually have Moodle and a bunch of other stuff. It can be open or maybe not. So right now we're inside a big blue button room. And there is the integration with Moodle for that, which is one of the better ones. But we really want to focus on these integrations so that when someone is setting up a learning platform, they can grab Moodle, grab this, grab that, all these pieces, and go bop, 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 and they plug together very nicely, very transparently, without a lot of development work. And so that's the general sort of sweep of the things that are happening in the next couple of years. And here down below, you see the timeline. We have things by year and just rough dates here: quarterly, quarter one, quarter two. So what's happening in this quarter where we're now, quarter two, is we've got the release of 3.9 for Moodle Core, Moodle LMS. We've got also Workplace being released. We've got a new version of apps with some cool things. We've got Moodle Cloud. MoodleNet will be released, and Moodle Educator Certificate is being properly released as well. Now, a big change that we're doing is that normally we do a Moodle LMS release every 6 months, and it's usually in May and November. We are planning to not have major releases in November and next May, and to spend a lot of time on a very big release with a lot of focus on usability next year. So that'll be Moodle 4.0. So this is in 2021 quarter 4, and Moodle 4.0. There'll be some things from Workplace that are arriving, the certificates and the report builder, but the main things that are happening is about UX, user experience, about the look and feel, the flow, and we want, I think as a community, we want to open Moodle 4.0 and just think, wow. And that wow is going to come from a combination of some big changes, some bigger things, and also some lots and lots of small things that got fixed. You know, sometimes we've been waiting for a while for those, and we want to attack a lot of them. So it's just a big focus on the usability in general. So that's the big news, and then along that, everything else will come with that. We may have smaller releases of Moodle LMS before then, but they won't have a lot of features. They'll just be bugs, security fixes, some community improvements, that kind of stuff. But a lot of our team are going to be focused on this. And we have a new UX team, a new UX lead is, we've just found them this week after a global search. So I'm very excited that we have a new UX lead, and she'll be taking the team through a big process over the next 18 months of finding all these things to do. We have a lot of ideas, but to prioritize them and to help us all get them done. And we're going to need your help. We're going to need a lot of input. We're going to need your testing. We're going to need your ideas. And you'll see a lot of messaging coming out from Moodle over the next 18 months as we make a really big effort on UX here for Moodle 4. So this page, if you're interested in this stuff, is the place to look. You can actually just on any search engine, if you type in Moodle roadmap, it should be your first link in any search engine, and this is the page that where we'll always keep it up to date. So that brings us to today, and what I'd like to do with the remaining time is to have a brainstorm with everybody here about the features or the main things that you want to see improved or added in Moodle. So if they're UX things, that's great. They don't have to be, and they don't even need to be on Moodle LMS. Maybe you'd like us to fix Moodle.org in a way, or maybe Moodle Cloud or something else, or maybe something on the apps. So anything at all that's Moodle related, that's kind of a feature or a usability thing, something that's bothering you actually. If it's something that is causing you some pain, then we want to know about it. And today we're going to have a brainstorm. So I'll be looking for some. I'll be looking for things now in the chat for these requests, and we're going to put them here. And then we're going to have a voting process, and we're going to prioritize them into a list. And then I'm going to publish it everywhere as this is what MoodleMoot India decided were the priorities. Okay, and that will go into our roadmap process along with everything else, and that will help us set our overall priorities for the development work that we have. Okay. So can I have, now I would normally, if I'm doing this in person, I'd be getting people to put their hands up. I'm going to ask you to just start putting your ideas, and please just one each, just one each. We don't want too many. I want the things that really, really matter. So think about your use of Moodle, whether you're a developer or a teacher or an admin, and put that one thing, the main thing you'd like to see fixed into the chat, and I'll start copying them into this document. If you want to get to this document, there is a little link here at the top, and you can get directly to the document. You can't type in it, I don't think. I'll put that in the chat. All right, so we've got one from Shobi here, which is e-commerce integration with a payment gateway for Moodle Workplace. Okay. This is easier than the normal session because I can cut and paste. I don't need to type everything in from scratch. Are you aware, and I'm going to fix these. I'm just going to cut and paste them. Are you aware, Shobi, that Moodle does already have payment gateways? that you can charge a price for a course, and to enter the course, a student needs to pay. So maybe I need a little bit more. I need, I'll tell you what, I'm going to say better e-commerce, because if you're using Moodle and you didn't know that, then we're not doing a good job. Yes, there is a PayPal plugin, but there is also other plugins available. But I guess we're talking about core here. There's Stripe, yep. There's a bunch of other ones as well. I have to say, I don't think they're brilliant. I think we could do a lot better, have a kind of a shopping cart. So let's just say improve e-commerce integration with payment gateways. Okay, all right. Number 2 from Farhan, we've got integrating metadata into core. Okay, looks like pretty well written. So more metadata on course, on fields for modules, for cohorts, etc. Good one. I know exactly what you mean. For anyone who doesn't, what this is referring to is just the ability to kind of have almost like tags, but metadata for different things in Moodle, and that would enable you to then, or developers to build plugins to do searching, to do sorting, or automate processes, that kind of stuff. So, yep. Faizullah Sheikh is asking me, what are the plans for bringing in content curation on the Moodle side? That is MoodleNet. MoodleNet is all about content curation. So if you need anything like that, you do it in MoodleNet. That's our recommendation. And then you would just push those things into Moodle that you want to use. So I won't put that on the list. Activity completion checklist to be integrated from Sushumna Rao. I need a bit more information on that, actually. Can you post a link to it? Activity completion checklist. Do you mean the activity it's called checklist, mod checklist? Is it? The one that we have on Moodle Cloud. Oh, there's a few. Okay, which one? So there's the activity, there's a block. Oh, yeah, that's the block. This is the grade export plugin. They should probably have better names. And then there's a grading method as well. Which one did you mean? I need a little bit more info. Sushumna? Okay, I'm gonna assume you mean mod checklist, and we'll just keep going with that. If you want to change that, let me know. Number 4. Okay, a video tutorial for setting up Moodle from scratch, crafted for people not much involved with technology, especially in the rural areas. Let me put it in the document so you can all read it with me. Okay, I think many of these exist, but let's say an official one. It's I think that is a pretty cool idea. yeah, so better ways to set up Moodle for people who don't have technology. I've actually done some work on this also, and there are some other there are some products that make it easy, like the what's it called, Moodle and Raspberry Pi thing. MoodleBox. Yeah, so there is a MoodleBox distribution, and if you have a little Raspberry Pi server, or you can get one, you can install it on here all in one go. It's quite quick and easy. And the other thing is on the Moodle downloads page. If you look on our download page, we do have some, well, there's installation documentation, but there is also Moodle installer package for Mac and an installer package for Windows. And this installer package for Windows is like one big zip file that should contain everything you need. So yeah, might help you straight away. But I still think a video that takes people through it is a good idea. So I might just keep the first bit there. Okay. Mukesh Arora, we've got you're saying project management in Moodle. I think that needs a little bit more definition. What do you mean by project management for who? One idea that I have, and actually you may have seen it on the roadmap already, was task management. And my idea there is that, you know, if you're a student and you have 6 teachers, 6 teachers might be giving you assignments and quizzes and work. And maybe this assignment will take you a week and this assignment will take you 3 weeks, and it's all coming at you. Currently, Moodle doesn't help you as a student. And what it could do is help you to estimate what work is necessary and put it into your calendar. And maybe you even have something like a Trello board, like a Kanban agile board or something, where you can say, oh, these are nearly done, and this is not done, and this is done, and this kind of task management. So that's sort of like your own little project management as a student. Is that what you meant, or did you mean something else? Okay, I'm not getting. Okay, well, Mukesh, I need some. Okay, I'll keep it. If a lot of people want to vote for it, you can vote for it. But we need to know what sort of projects do you mean, and for who. That again, if you look in the plugins thing, that if we find that there are maybe a project management tool, a couple of things. So yeah, people mean different things. We need some details. Okay, Alex, you are saying you want to improve automated backup feature to let admins select course categories to be excluded from automated backup. Okay. Okay, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Muralida, an effective discussion forum. That, I mean, what's not effective about the current discussion forums is the question. Like, what is it that would make it effective? Otherwise, you know, it's going to be very difficult to take this anywhere. We need to say, you know, what it is that would help. So like this one, it's very specific. So I'll put it in there for now, and we can come back if you have some more details you want to fill out that one. Timetable generation module for an entire institute from Anjali. Let's see what that is here. I have no idea what this is. What's co-po-pso mapping? Anyway, I get the idea of the timetable generation module. So maybe I'll just stick with that, and the details we can would be part of that process of developing it. But a timetable generation, that's a cool idea. If we ever go back to studying in rooms again. Number 9. So Rajneesh talking about well, the Rajneesh, the CSS is all in the plugin already. The Moodle.css is actually Moodle putting all the CSS together into a file. That's not the file you should be modifying. You should be modifying the ones that are in the plugins. Can you write this in the form of a tracker title? And then I don't know what to do this right now, but if you're able to write it in a sentence that I can cut and paste, then I'll look at it as we go a bit further down. Okay, Amit, templates path of core. We have a lot of developers here today, don't we? It's usual for the MoodleMoot India. Templates path of core or selected theme while viewing any page during designer mode, or some setting to enable that will help theme developers. Templates path of core or selected theme while viewing any page during designer mode. I'm not sure I understand it. Are you meaning when you're looking at the Moodle during designer mode that it gives you links to the CSS files? I don't know. See if you can the path of the template. So you want to show the path of the template. Aren't the templates? Oh, I see. When you're looking at a page, you want to see where the templates for that page are. Got you. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's say during designer mode, show paths of templates used in that page. That clearer to help designers. Good one. Again, I think there are other ways to do that, but that's something we can get into later. Okay, Suraj, you want hooks to extend core features. This is the most technical brainstorm I think we've ever had from a MoodleMoot. Yeah, Farhan points out we do have callbacks, we do have events. Were you aware of those, Suraj? Do you need more? There's also, I mean, yeah, extending core features perhaps. Okay. All right, Kavita, some points with activity completion for gamification. Okay, so let's have this phrase with like a verb, what we're going to be doing. So, imagine these are tracker titles, okay? That's how you should write them. So add points to activities, activity completion, to be used by Okay, we'll see what people think. There could be issues with that. You might have multiple gamification systems, and they might have different sorts of points. So just put you put 2 points for against the activity. That might not make sense for one gamification method. It might make sense for a different one. That's why we usually keep those things on a layer outside of the actual core, but we can see if that's needed. Exclusive for education and not fit all. Well, Moodle is for education, but I guess you mean exclusively for universities or schools. I don't know what to do with that. When I started Moodle, it was for universities, and then everyone else started to use it anyway. So it's not like it's something we can stop. So I'll probably take this out. But definitely our formal education, so universities and schools, they're our primary use case that we're trying to help. Except for workplace, which is focused on that sector. Okay, some stuff about Dockers. Don't think that's more like discussion. Spoodle. Okay, Amit's got backup of categories and courses in bulk. Okay, that's a good simple one. Gaurav asking about 5-degree programs in my universities. Yeah, Moodle, yes, students only see things they're enrolled in, so that's already a feature, Gaurav, so that's normal. Rajan is saying quiz should be able to randomize a lot more, pick from different categories or sets of questions. You can do that. The way it works, Rajan, are you adding a random question? And when you add the random question, you can say which category to select from. That's how the random question thing works. I think it does exactly what you're asking already. So if you want to rephrase it, stick it in the chat again when I get down there. All right, Muralida Sharma. Did we already have one from you? Anyway, easy and user-friendly, unlike Facebook. Yeah, well, we're not like Facebook anyway, so. But yes, as I said, it's all about user experience for learning management systems. So that's pretty generic. I can't put that in as an issue. All right, Mukesh coming back to project management, talking about power plant site activities monitoring. That's pretty specific. I don't think Moodle Core is ever going to have power plant site activity monitoring. If we go back to the last couple of comments about Moodle being user-friendly, I don't think we should put such specific tools if they're not useful for education. So maybe that's a plugin you could find or develop. Have a look in the plugins database. I think there were some project management tools there. Or just use other project management tools that are good at that, and you can integrate them together with Moodle. Or not even integrate it. All right. Venugopal, can we simply install database of Moodle on Amazon Drive? Do you mean Amazon Web Services, AWS? There are images there on Amazon for installing Moodle. I don't necessarily recommend them, but they're there. Probably that's not a Moodle feature really. I can't really help with that. An index of Moodle help videos. Om Singh Chandawat. Good one, I guess. Just make clear it's a documentation thing. The index of Moodle. There are a lot of Moodle help videos. You know, if you go to youtube.com/Moodle and you look under, say, our playlists, you'll see here under Learn Moodle a lot of video tutorials that cover, well, let's look at these ones for Moodle 3.8.
Finding your way around.
Lots and lots and lots of videos here.
How you navigate around a Moodle site.
For different parts of Moodle.
On the administrator's settings, your theme, and how up to date.
So maybe that answers your question. Maybe that's enough. I think it could be, but there are other Moodle help videos, and maybe we could have a documentation page that said, "Oh, look here. Here's how you find all the videos." That could be a good idea. All right, Honey. Let's put that in here. We got. Would be nice to have exam quiz results analysis by student achievement of course learning objectives, assuming there is a way to map quiz questions to course learning objectives, and maybe aggregate student achievement of course learning objectives for all assessments methods used, assignments plus quizzes. So I think you're talking about competencies. So the competencies do go down to activity level. There was some work to make them go down to quiz question level, but I don't think it's got into core yet. It gets very difficult. You know, if a student has passed 3 questions and failed 2, have they passed the competency? You might say yes, another teacher might say no, which means you now have to have a lot of settings about defining what it is to pass a competency. But a lot of that stuff, there is work out there around competencies that does some of that. So anyway, there's probably work to do. So let me just try and rephrase that long sentence into something like map use quiz. Let's say competencies to quiz questions and roll them up. That's a shorthand, but if you have a competency framework with, you know, learning outcomes, the idea is you map them to quiz questions and then you want to roll them up somehow into results for the student, for that course or just for the student. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce Koida Makluf, I think. That's I don't know how to, I'm saying it wrong terribly and I'm sorry. Temporary saving of a file in a bin that we may go and bring it back. Well, did you know if you delete an activity in Moodle, you can go and undo it? There is a recycle bin feature at the course level, so you can undo that. But I'll leave it here. We'll see if it gets any votes. We should probably wrap up soon. I'm not sure how much time have we got left? Can someone type it in the chat? Doesn't matter. We can just keep going all afternoon. It's our online conference. Let's see. Get a couple more. Thanks, Farhan. We're not going to find the cure for coronavirus, but hopefully people we've taught will. Certificate with achieved badges by learner related to a particular course. I already had one from you, I think. Or was that filling out? Oh yeah, no, I already put yours in, Kavita, the one about the other thing, about the points. Umesh, baking of assessment rubric templates and use a pen in various other courses. I don't know what that means. use pen in other making of assessment rubric templates and use pen in various other courses as a store. I can't make sense of that. I wish I could just like get you quickly, but like if you want to try and give me another phrasing of that, I don't know what that means. I can't. Yeah, I can't put it in if I don't understand it. So what else have we got here? Rajan Naya, the question bank takes in all questions. Oh no, that's. Oh, that was about the random. But when you pick a random question, you do pick it. You do assign it. You do say pick it from this category. So it's all about how you structure your questions. If you structure them nicely, then the random questions will be able to just get from a set folder. So you can put them in folders and subfolders. I'll leave that one. This old one, Shirag, you want to see time spent based on clicks? I hate this question. People have been asking for this for 20 years in Moodle, right? And I hate this idea because it doesn't mean anything. What will happen is, yes, you can estimate that a click is 5 minutes of time or something, and you put it together. And then you start saying, oh, the student spent 37 minutes today on Moodle. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean they've learned more? Does it mean that they have that they are assessed well? They're successful? Does it actually mean that they spent 37 minutes? It's very likely that they clicked on a PDF, which took them into their browser, and maybe they spent 5 hours reading a PDF and working on a piece of paper or in another window. So they were studying, but there's no clicks on Moodle. And alternatively, they may just go clicking around Moodle and not actually studying and not learning anything and not doing anything really. So it makes this whole concept really meaningless. And as soon as you start saying, oh, yes, I know 37 minutes, people start believing it and saying, oh, yes, the student who spent 37 minutes is better than the student who spent 15 minutes. And that is absolute rubbish. It doesn't make any sense. And so I've actually refused to put this feature in Moodle in the past because I think it's actually misleading. And many people implement it themselves, and I say go for it, but it's not going in core. So I will put it here. If you really want it, you can vote. We can vote for it, but I'm going to say I don't give it much chance. Okay. Is it possible to see time spent? Yeah, it's the same thing again. We're going to fix the Trump problem. Yeah, no. A voice interface to Moodle. Well, that's a really tricky problem, but if it's just something we want, then we can put it here and we can vote for it. I think there is some merit in a voice interface, thinking about voice interfaces. We actually did some work on that before. I did a paper with a really great academic in Japan, but you end up having to deal with Amazon or Apple or Google. There is no easy way for our apps to handle voice on their own, and we might have to make another. We have to do a lot more clever thinking there to make that really work. Okay, Pawan Kamur, can we run simultaneously more than 2 quizzes in Moodle? Yes, of course you can. You can run as many as you want. Aviv Naya, shared grading, where 2 faculty members can contribute to separate aspects of a rubric. Yes, absolutely. That's quite formally done in the assignment module. You can have multiple graders. Another one from Shirag. You want to see. It's still about kits, I think. Okay, and Lokesh, point number 12, you're saying, I'm going to just copy it in the window so we can. So backup of categories. So you're saying we already have a feature to do bulk backup of courses from one category through the CLI. That's a tool. The only drawback is you cannot select courses. It's all or nothing. It's just where this interface aims can select from category. Well, okay. I'll just say perhaps building on this plugin. Okay, well, we have to get to the voting. So I'm going to draw a line here and stop at this one. I see one more there from Rajneesh, but that looks like a giant research project rather than a feature. And yeah, look, it's a dream. This idea of automatic course building per student based on competencies is not really where Moodle is at. Moodle's about empowering educators. It's not about going straight to students with some AI system. So yeah, you won't see much of that, but bits of that may. Anyway, I'll leave it out. It's too big. So we got these 17 things. Now I'm going to give everyone here. Let's see how many we got in the room. We got about 10, 20, 30, 40 people. If you're on YouTube, sorry you can't vote because you're not in the system here, but the people who are in the room can. So I'm going to give you each 5 votes. Okay, so you've got 5 votes, no cheating. You can only pick 5 things on this list. And the way I'm going to do it is by making a poll. Oh dear, can someone give me the ability to make a poll? I think it might be switched off. I was going to use a poll for this. I forgot to tell you though. So let's see in the settings. Any of the admins here able to give me polling rights? Big Blue Button has this lovely polling feature. If that's not possible, then what I'll get you to do, we can do it in the chat. It's going to be a bit messier. All right, well, let's start with that. And if someone adds polling, we can use the polling feature, which would make it a lot tidier. But, oh, here we go. No, I can do it. There we go. Start a poll. All right, great. Here we go. Okay, so this is for, I've just put the poll up. This is for question 1. Is this one of your 5 things? So better e-commerce integration with payment gateways. I'll give you a few seconds and vote. You don't need to vote no. Oh, you can vote no. Sure, vote no. Why not? It doesn't. I'm going to ignore it. But yeah, I'm just looking at the yes votes. So I'm going to count up how many people think this is one of their 5 things that they would like to see from this list. All right. We've got 30 people out of 65. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Finish. You know what I should do? I should have a timer for each one. All right. So 27 people voted for that one. We got 27 votes. Okay. Second one. Let's make a new one. Start a new poll. The next one was about integrating metadata plugin into core or extending the course extra fields to other areas like course modules and cohorts. This metadata idea. Who has chosen that as one of their 5? Putting the poll up now. I'm going to run it I'm going to put an alarm, a clock in, and I'll give you a fixed time starting for the next one. You give everyone 20 seconds. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, one just snuck in there at the end. I think there was 16 or 17. I actually can't see the results right now. There was 17, I think. So 17. All right. The mod checklist, to have the checklist integrated into Moodle. Do you want to see that? Starting the timer now. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. So we got 14 for that one. Would you like to see an official video tutorial for setting up Moodle from scratch for people who don't know a lot about technology? Let's set up a new one. On your marks, get set, go. You have 20 seconds. And we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. 23. Popular. All right. Now this one on project management in Moodle, I guess we'll just say a project, a general project management tool in Moodle. So who had that as one of their 5? Go. Maybe I should have recorded the no votes, because it could be, you know, like you could say, no, I definitely don't want that in Moodle. That would actually be quite useful info as well. Okay, time is up now, and that's 12 votes. Okay, improve the automated backup feature. We already have automated backups, but we want to exclude certain courses or categories from backup because they're too big or whatever it is. So let's vote on that starting now. Oh, hang on. I think that didn't go out. Here it is. Okay, go. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 17. Right, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Thank you for your patience. We won't go too much longer. I'll try and do this efficiently now. So we've got the next one is for an effective discussion forum. So more work on the discussion forum. Improve. Let's just say improve discussion forum. Now, this would never fly on the tracker. But if you're unhappy with the discussion forum and you're using Moodle 3.8 already, which has discussion forum improvements, then you can vote for this. What the exact details are, I mean, this should have details, but anyway, slip through. I didn't fix it later, as I said I was going to. So we'll leave it in. There we go. 19. Okay. The next one, timetable generation module for an entire institute. So this takes all the courses that it knows about and I guess some other information and helps you generate a timetable. There are lots of other tools that do that, but we're saying we might want to have it in Moodle. So ready, go. If you're voting for this. Remember, you can only vote on 5 of these things total. So if you voted for every one so far, well, it's all karma for you. 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause. We got 16 for that one. Okay, during designer mode, we want to show paths of templates used in that page to help theme designers. So some way to make it more easy to find the templates you have to adapt, or I guess basically improve theme designing. So we're, oh great, my phone crashed. A few more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're done. All right, we got 18 for that one. Okay, some sort of we need more. The proposal is more hooks to extend core features on top of callbacks and events, plugins, all the other ways we have. So there was a proposal for hooks. That's what probably someone's referring to, which didn't quite get implemented as planned. It got abandoned. There's information here about that, and so yeah, it got dropped. So I doubt this will fly, but you know, if you really want to see it, we'll do it. 3, 2, 1, sending it. 12 people. Adding points to activity completion to be used by gamification tools. Oh, sorry, I accidentally published that too quickly. Go. A lot of these numbers are looking very similar. I'm really hoping it's all different people every time. Okay. And publishing 17 actually. Backing up categories and courses in bulk. So building on this tool. Okay, we'll leave it as it is, and we'll do that one. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and publish 16. Okay, this is a documentation thing about having some sort of page that links to lots of videos, shows you where all the videos are, makes them easier to find, gathers them together. So who saved up one of their 5 votes for this? If you search YouTube for Moodle, you know you find a lot of Moodle help videos. Okay, 3, 2, 1, publish. So it's 15. 4 people don't want to see that. Let's make a new one for mapping competencies to quiz questions and rolling them up. So being able to, there's learning objectives all the way down to quiz questions. Okay, quite a bit more votes coming in for that one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. That's 24. 3 more to go. We're almost there. Thank you. We've got the next one is for temporary saving a file in a bin, so we can go and bring it back. So I'm imagine when you delete a file. So it's not for deleting an activity. We already have that. This is if you delete a file in Moodle and you want to go and get it back from a trash can. All right. A lot of no's on this one. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. 12. Measure. Hang on. I'll measure time spent by students based on clicks. So we want this feature to measure time spent by students based on clicks. I know in many places in the world, for some reason, that kind of thing has become ingrained in the administration and people want to know that stuff. But you know my feelings now. So measuring time spent by students based on clicks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got 17 versus 14 that said no. Thank you, guys. So I'll publish that. And the very last one is a voice interface to Moodle. Do you see that as a priority that we should be working on for the final one? Presumably you've all been counting your 5 votes and you've saved up your vote for this. What have we got? Okay. Give you a couple more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the answer is 27. 6 people said no. So the winner, the co-winner, was that one. Right up there with the very first one we did. Right? Everybody wants to talk to Moodle and have it make money for them. That's the India Moot. Let's see. I'm joking. We have mapping competencies to quiz questions, and then the next one probably is this 19 here. And so that's what the top few are looking like, and then it goes down after. Oops. I'll put a few of these in. There we go. So I'll tidy this up after this. Oh, there's this one, 23. That was a biggie. That's why I don't do this live usually. Whoops. You see? Again, it goes there. So that's it. Here we have some of the top ones. I'll tidy this up for us and I'll publish it on Twitter and on the hashtag. But what I'm hearing here is like better payment integration and voice are definitely out the front. So that's really interesting to hear, and I think that's going to be very useful for the UX team and the developer team. I'll leave it at that. You'll see a lot of things coming out of us relating to the roadmap. You'll see a survey that asks a question a bit similar to this one coming out next week globally, and you're going to see a lot more UX studies coming out where we're testing prototypes. If you're interested on testing prototypes for the next release at any time, just go to prototype.moodle.net. And oops, my browser went funny there, sorry. And on prototype.moodle.net, which redirects to here, you can actually start playing and seeing the prototypes for what's coming up next. And you can give some more feedback to the developers if you like. but there's some good stuff there too. So yeah, I'll end the session. We're well over time. Thank you for staying. Thank you for being part of this MoodleMoot. Thanks for helping us sort of kick the conference system here, and it's going to get better and better and better. What I love particularly is that we're using Moodle itself to run this conference. That's only going to be a good thing for Moodle, the product, as well as for all of us to be using and talking about the system that we all rely on and that we all care about. That's why we're here. So thank you very much. Just because the conference is over doesn't mean that the Moodle community is. If you haven't joined the WhatsApp chat, that goes all year round. We have the Moodle forums. Soon you'll see activity happening on MoodleNet and lots of other places. So stay in touch, and we'll see you soon online. All right, I'll sign off, and if anybody else wants to close here, Diego, feel free.
Yes.
But
hi, Martin. Thank you very much for your session, and I just wanted to say thank you to all the speakers, and of course to all the people who came to the conference. And I hope you enjoyed it. As I said before, please send us your feedback if you want. And this is the end of this conference this year. See you next year. Bye. Thank you all.